A lawn can be an embarrassment. For many, it's a patchy, weed-infested secret that the whole neighborhood can see. These ugly, sprawling spots of brown and yellow can make an entire yard look tired and neglected, becoming a constant source of stress. Looking out the window at a lawn that seems to be failing is a frustrating part of being a homeowner. Many have tried everything. They've bought the expensive, brightly coloured bags of miracle seed that promise a golf course green carpet in 7 days. They've spent a small fortune on complicated fertilizers with confusing numbers and long lists of chemicals. Some have even bought special sprinklers with 7 different settings, convinced that the perfect spray pattern is all that stands between them and a beautiful lawn. Often nothing works. In fact, some of it seems to make things even worse. But there is a trick that costs less than $1. For many, it's completely free, and it can turn a patchy, expensive mess into the lush green lawn that seemed impossible. This method works so well and is so incredibly simple, it feels like cheating the system. It's a bit of wisdom that's easy to miss when walking down an aisle full of products promising a quick fix in a bag. And today we're going to show you exactly what it is. Before we get to the secret, it's important to understand the journey of frustration that leads to it. Because if you're watching this, you've likely been on a similar one. For many, weekends become a repeating cycle of hope and disappointment. It starts with a Saturday morning trip to the big box store, filled with determination. But the lawn care aisle can be overwhelming. There are bags promising to green up a lawn in 3 days, bottles that claim to kill every weed known to man without harming a single blade of grass, and granular products that look like something out of a science lab. It's easy to buy into the hype. All of it. A common starting point is a weed and feed product. The instructions are followed perfectly, using a spreader to get an even coat. For a week, it might seem to work. Some of the dandelions wilt. But then, new weeds you've never even seen before start popping up. And worse, some parts of the lawn look scorched, with pale yellow streaks where the spreader pass is overlapped by a mere inch. It can be a disaster, trading one problem for another. Next, the thought is often that the soil itself must be the issue. So, bags of expensive topsoil and compost are purchased. An entire weekend is spent raking it out, trying to level the low spots and give the grass a better foundation. It's back-breaking work. After seeding and watering religiously, tiny green shoots might start to appear. There's a moment of ecstasy, but they are fragile. The first hot week of summer arrives, and they just vanish. They shrivel up and die, leaving things right back where they started, only now with an aching back and a lighter wallet. Some try aeration with a manual tool that looks like a medieval torture device, poking thousands of holes until their hands are blistered. Others try adjusting the pH with lime, based on a home test kit that gives a vague colour chart that's hard to decipher. Each attempt is a new project, a new cost, and a new failure. It's like treating symptoms, throwing money at problems without understanding the root cause. It can feel like a war against the lawn, and the lawn is winning. Despite doing everything the industry tells you to do, you get nowhere. It's easy to be convinced that a great lawn is for people with unlimited time and money, or for those who hire a professional service, another expense most people don't want. It's after all these failed attempts, staring at another bag of useless, expensive seed, that it's time to stop. Just stop. Stop buying things. Stop looking for a magic powder in a bag. It's time to think about what a lawn actually is. It's a collection of plants. And what do plants do in nature? They grow, they die, and they return to the soil. There's no one in a forest raking up all the leaves and bagging them to be hauled away. It's a closed-loop system. And that's when it hits you. The biggest mistake is often something done every single week without fail. Bagging the grass clippings. This is the $1 trick. In fact, for most people, it's the $0 trick. Stop bagging grass clippings. Just leave them on the lawn. It sounds too simple. It might even sound wrong. Many of us were taught that you have to bag clippings to prevent thatch. But a ton of research shows that's mostly a myth. Clippings are mainly water and decompose so quickly they don't contribute to thatch buildup. Those little green clippings are packed with the exact nutrients a lawn needs to thrive. They're full of nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium, the same three elements on the front of every fertilizer bag. When you leave the clippings, a practice called grasscycling. They break down and release those nutrients right back into the soil where the roots can access them. It's nature's own slow-release fertilizer, custom-made for your yard. Grasscycling can actually provide up to 25% of the nitrogen your lawn needs for the season. Think about that. Many people are paying for lawn bags to throw away free fertilizer, then paying again for synthetic fertilizer to replace the very nutrients they just put in the trash. It makes no sense. There are a couple of small rules. You need to mow when the grass is dry to prevent clumping, and you shouldn't be cutting off more than 1/3 of the grass blade at a time. This ensures the clippings are small and can fall between the blades of grass to decompose. For this to work best, some mowers might need a mulching blade or a mulching plug, which is a simple plastic piece that blocks the discharge chute. That little plug might be the $1 part of the trick, but it's a tiny one-time investment that saves money year after year. Of course, it's natural to be skeptical. It can seem far too good to be true, but when you're desperate and it's free, there's nothing to lose. So what happens when you take the bag off the mower, raise the deck a little higher than usual and mow the lawn, leaving the clippings where they fall? The first week, to be honest, not much changes. The lawn looks mowed. The clippings are barely visible. It takes discipline to resist the urge to go buy a bag of fertilizer. The key is to just wait. Water deeply once that week, and that's it. By the end of week 2, you can start to notice something. The color of the lawn begins to deepen. It's not a dramatic overnight change, but a slow, rich shift from a pale, yellowish green to a more confident, darker shade. If you get down on your hands and knees to inspect one of the bare patches, you may see that the existing grass around the edges is getting thicker. Week 3 is when you know you're onto something. The growth is noticeably more vigorous. Those thin, wispy blades are being replaced by thicker, stronger ones. Now results will vary depending on a lawn's starting point, but this is when those patchy spots can actually start to fill in. The surrounding grass begins to spread into the bare soil. It's a slow, deliberate healing process, fueled by nothing more than its own recycled growth. By week 4, the transformation is undeniable. The lawn starts to become a lawn. It's thicker, greener, and feels more resilient underfoot. Over time, the decomposing clippings also help improve the soil's ability to hold moisture, though that's more of a long-term benefit. The weeds are still there, but they're having a harder time. The denser, healthier grass begins to crowd them out, shading the soil and giving them less space and light to grow. Keep this up for 2 full months. No extra fertilizers or weed killers, just mowing high, mowing regularly, and leaving the clippings. The change can be staggering. This isn't a temporary green up like you'd get from synthetic fertilizers. This is a deep, fundamental change in the health of the entire ecosystem. The soil feels softer. The grass becomes a deep, satisfying green. The bare patches can almost completely vanish, swallowed up by a spreading carpet of healthy turf. This is the goal. The same lawn that was a patchwork of dirt and weeds just a couple of months ago can look like this. It's thick, it's uniform, it's that deep, rich green that many think is only possible with a team of professional landscapers. There are no scorch marks from chemical burns. There are no empty patches from failed seeding attempts. It's just a healthy, thriving lawn. When you walk on a lawn like this, it feels soft and dense. The embarrassing secret of the yard can become a source of pride. Neighbours might even comment, asking what service is being used. When you tell them you're not using anything, in fact that you're doing less work and spending no money, they might not believe it. They're still on the weekend cycle of buying, spreading and bagging, chasing the results that can be found by simply stopping. The most powerful part of this whole method is knowing that the solution isn't in a store. It's there the whole time, in the grass itself. There's no need to add more chemicals or more products. You just need to get out of the way and let the lawn do what it naturally wants to do: feed itself and grow. This isn't a hack, it's a partnership. And it all starts with a simple decision to take the bag off the mower. So there you have it. The trick costs almost nothing, saves time and money, and is better for your lawn and the environment. By simply leaving the clippings, you are giving your lawn the food it needs to heal itself and thrive. If this video helped you and you want to see more cheap but powerful hacks that challenge the expensive, conventional way of doing things, make sure you subscribe to the channel. And let me know in the comments what problem you're struggling with, in the yard or in the house, and maybe we can find a $1 trick to solve it next.